Let's go to Ryan, who is here in New York City, who has been on hold for a bit. Go ahead, Ryan. What's going on, man?
Hey, Eddie. Thanks for taking my call as always.
Sure.
I just wanted to know if you had a chance to see the set list from the Kiss kickoff last night for their tour. I'm fully aware this is the first show, and I'm going to the MSG show in March. And the stage looks great, the production looks great as well. But to me, the set list is very boilerplate. There really aren't any surprises as far as the real fans are concerned. The fact that they're crowbarring a song from Sonic Boom, that to me is ridiculous. And I'm not being unreasonable. I'm not asking for Mr. Speed or Love Her All I Can, but at least maybe Strutter or Dr. Love. And for a final tour, this set list seems, that there's much to be desired. I don't know if you had a chance to see it. Maybe Ed could pull it up for you.
Yeah, no, I saw it, Ryan, and what's funny was last night there was also a fake set list making the rounds. I don't know if you caught wind of that, but there was a lot of talk about that
before the actual show went up, yeah.
Which you probably would have liked, Ryan, right, if you're a hardcore fan, because it had the oath on it and all the way and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I saw that set list, I looked at that had floated by me, and I looked at it, and I was just like, I don't think so. Thanks, Ryan, for the call. I was like, this can't be real. If you're a fan of Deep Kiss, you would have loved it because, like I said, it had the Oath, which is a song from The Elder, which the band, by their own admission, hates the record. And then it had a song called All the Way, which is a song from Hotter Than Hell, the second Kiss record that I don't think was ever played live ever. So I was just like, this doesn't quite seem right. And then, like an hour before they played, the real set list came out, which, I've said this before, and all bands struggle with this when it comes to set lists. You have the hardcore fans that want to hear deep tracks and different tracks. And then that's a big tune out for the mainstream, audience. The bulk of the audience goes to hear the hits. Even though you and I, if you're hardcore fans of a band, don't. I've said this so many times. I mean, if I go see Guns N' Roses, I don't need to hear Welcome to the Jungle or Sweet Child of Mine. Great songs, but I heard them a billion times. If I can beat traffic, I'm good. If I go see Aerosmith and I know the last song is Walk This Way, I'm good. I don't need to see it again. I've seen it 10 billion times. Give me Rats in the Cellar any day of the week. But that's me. 90% of the building that's in that building doesn't feel the same way. Kiss, I've said this before, Kiss has a bit of an issue when it comes to what they play because unlike a band like Aerosmith or AC/DC or Van Halen or anything like that, Kiss really only has 3-4 songs that are bona fide hit songs that everybody kind of knows. Of course, Rock and Roll All Night. Detroit Rock City to some degree. Lick It Up has, over the years, become sort of a pretty big radio song. I Was Made for Loving You, kind of polarizing song because it was disco, but they have to include that because it was a bona fide hit. So they only have a handful that they can pull from. They're not one of these bands like an Aerosmith that has like 15 radio hits or something that you could do a whole set of it. So they're always going to have to lean on that stuff. And I don't know. I see all sides of it. Let's just put it that way. Could it use some freshening up? Yeah, but I think I saw Hide Your Heart on there, which I don't think they've done in a long time. It looked to me, from what I saw of it, that they're trying to make an effort to at least touch on all the different periods of their history by including something like Hide Your Heart, by including on like something from one of the last two records, to at least represent that stuff in some way. What I thought was a really unbelievable omission was God of Thunder, which has been in the live set probably since Destroyer came out, and is Gene's huge moment for the blood and all that. Now, unless I missed it, God of Thunder is in there. I think God of Thunder was in there. What's throwing me was apparently Gene is breathing fire at the end of War Machine. That's what it is. Yeah, because I don't think they could take out God of Thunder. That's Gene's whole signature moment. even though the song was written by Paul Stanley. But the fire bit of Gene breathing fire was always at the end of the song Firehouse. And he did it at the end of the song War Machine, which was just seemed strange to me. I'd never seen that before. God of Thunder was played. My bad. I'm getting confused. God of Thunder is Gene flying and the blood and all that bit. That I don't think that's been out of the set since 76. So, yeah, I get it. Fans are always going to grumble about set lists because you want new things, you want fresh things, you want deep tracks, and I get it. But there are reasons why bands do what they do, and most of it is to cater to the masses, not to the hardcore. And as they go, things will get dropped and subbed in and changed and all that, too. I'm sure that happens a lot as well. We begin in Kentucky with Jason, our first caller, on this first day of February. What's up, Jason?
What's up, Eddie? Hey, man, I just wanted to thank you for having Bobby Rock on back, a few months ago and recommending that book. I picked that book up and read it. I loved it. Anybody out there who's a drummer or who just loves a good rock story, pick up that Bobby Rock book. I was going to ask you about Bobby Rock and the Vinnie Vincent, but you've been talking a lot about that lately, so I'm going to skip that, and I'm going to jump to one of my favorite bands that I never really hear you talk about, which is Blue Oyster Cult. Their first 4 records were perfect. Are you a fan of them? Do you have a favorite record? Do you have a favorite song? What can you tell me about Blue Oyster Cult from Eddie Trump?
Well, Jason, your point about Bobby's book is good. It's a good book. It's a fun book to read. And as I mentioned with the time that I had Bobby on, if you're a fan of the Vinnie Vincent Invasion, it's a great book because it's real detailed. Bobby remembers everything and gets into it big time. As far as BOC is concerned, I like the band. I wouldn't say I'm a massive fan. Some of their stuff is a little trippy for my tastes, a little kind of out there, borderline sort of psychedelic at times, but I do like a lot of stuff about from the band. I guess probably my favorite record would be Fire of Unknown Origin, as far as my favorite album from them. But there's other stuff scattered throughout their catalog that I like a lot. There's a song called Take Me Away that I like a lot that was actually written by Aldo Nova. And stuff on Secret Treaties, Fire of Unknown Origin. There's a lot of good material. Of course, Metallica covered Astronomy, Heavy Metal, The Black and the Silver. I've got a terrestrial syndicated radio show, and I put that together, and it runs on a bunch of stations over the weekend, and I just put in Joan Crawford Has Risen from the Grave. I included in my most recent show. So yeah, there's a lot of cool songs from that band, and I do like them, but they also have some trippiness to them and some sort of psychedelic stuff that goes on, and just I don't know. I'd be lying if I said they were one of my all-time favorite bands, but I certainly don't dislike them. I respect them, and also the other thing about BOC is their earliest years sort of predate me a little bit, because I think they started like 1970 or something with the first record. And the people really into Blue Oyster Cult will tell you about those very early years and how much they love that real early stuff, which was before I was ever going to shows or knew anything about them. They certainly have their fan base, but they also, it's weird with Blue Oyster Cult. They've got Don't Fear the Reaper, Burning for You. They've got some real iconic classic rock songs, but they also... They had their moment early 70s where they were really big, but it just didn't maintain for whatever reason. And they're a band that gets a lot of classic rock airplay with 2 or 3 really big songs. But they, as a headliner, they're a club act. I mean, when they play in New York City, they play B.B. King's, which is a club. So I always find that interesting, too, that they are a well-regarded band. They get a ton of airplay on a couple of really big songs. Godzilla, I mean, there's a lot more than you think, but it never transcended into them being a enduring big live act on the concert stage, because they'll play the Sturgises of the world and things like that and do okay. But as a pure headliner, they're clubs, small theaters. It's always interesting how that works. Some bands, they're able to only have one or two songs and they can somehow maintain a bigger fan base, and others they just kind of settle into this sort of club deal.